Rob from Woodsley Summercraft here. Now, 4 months ago I rough cut this bowl. I called it Mystery Crotch Bowl because I didn't know what it was, but I figured out I think it's apple. So now it's been drying. It's now down to about 14% moisture. There's a good crack in it right here, and it's a bit of a mess actually. So I don't know what we're going to get out of this, but we're going to certainly give it a try. We'll give it our best. We'll give it our best effort. I don't know if we're going to keep the bark or not. We'll see. So let's get the tenon trued up, get it mounted on a chuck, and get this bowl finished. Okay, so I've got a scrap piece of wood in the chuck with my wormwood screw, and what I'm going to do now is I've picked up some of this non-slip material. You can get it at the hardware store. I'm just going to cut a piece to go over my scrap piece of wood, my waste block, my jam chuck, whatever you want to call it, because this bowl is going to be jammed up against it, and then I'm going to true up my tenon, so it's going to be held there with pressure from the tailstock. Now it's handy if you leave your center mark in the bowl, but I'm not seeing it, so I'm going to guess. Now you want your lathe on slow speed when you're doing this. You can even turn it by hand a little bit. See how that feels. That's actually not too bad. I'll just apply some pressure on there, make sure that it doesn't wobble around. Now I've seen a lot of guys recently breaking these tool rests. I think the reason behind that may be that they're way off to the edge with their tool, which is putting an awful lot of tension on their tool rest. Now sometimes you don't have that option, you have to do that, and I'm in that position right now. But I do have options. I have a different tool rest, which may be a better idea. This one is stainless steel. I can guarantee you're not going to snap that. So I think I'm going to do that. I do not want to snap my tool rest. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use that just for being out on the edge there, on the wing. Now I bought this a while ago when I had my Mastercraft lathe, which was a 12-inch lathe. This is designed for a 14-inch lathe. The length of the post is for a 14-inch lathe, so I couldn't use it with my old lathe. And I haven't used it yet, really, to be honest. So I'm going to use it today on this exterior. And that's what it's designed for, to do an exterior of a bowl. Okay, let's just have a quick recap on this bowl. We've got a section here that is not live edge. I will end up hand sanding this to where I want it, and the same right here. We have a live edge and a piece here, but this piece lost its bark. This is retaining its bark, so I think I will leave the bark there. I need to take a little bit more off the outside right here, but I have quite a nasty crack right here, which I'm going to put some epoxy in. And I'm not sure if I'll use coffee granules or... I'm not sure yet. Probably coffee granules. But the wood itself, I think when it's oiled up, is going to look quite spectacular. There's some really nice highlights in here. This was a crotch section. There's some really nice highlights in this section right here. And I think once I get it sanded down and oiled, I think it's going to be quite nice. But it's going to take a while to get to where I want it. So I'll continue. Okay, so I've put some epoxy with coffee granules in a couple of spots that needed it, and what I'm now going to do is get my finishing cuts, get it down to the thickness that I want in the bottom. Still a little thick in the bottom right now, and then we'll get it sanded down and finished. Okay, so at this point I'm pretty happy with the thickness of the bowl and the general finish. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to start sanding this down to a point where I can get my Hampshire sheen finish on the bowl. Right, so at this stage of the game, I just started sanding it, but what I'm going to do, in fact, is put some sanding sealer on it, and that will help stiffen up the fibers, and I can get out the little bit of tear out that there is in it. This wood was a little bit punky, just a little bit punky, but not too bad. But there is a little bit of tear out, and I find the best way to deal with that is to apply some sanding sealer of some sort. That really shows you where the tear out is, stiffen up the fibers, and sand that out. So I'm not quite sure what to make of this bowl yet. I guess we'll find out. One of those deja vu moments. Feels like I've been here before. Well, I guess I have. I did rough it out 4 months ago. Okay, right now I've got this sanded down at 60 grit only. There's still a little bit of tear out in it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to apply some mineral oil. It won't colour it, but it will saturate the wood with oil, and it should make the wood pop somewhat, but also it's going to really identify those trouble areas with the tear out. It's really showing up the highlights in the crotch feature, and a little bit of tear out here, which is where I have to deal with. Now the bark's coming off there, so I'm going to have to reattach that with a little bit of super glue, which I'll do momentarily. Right, I'm not going to put any oil on there because I want to get that super glued first. Okay, so I've now got this sanded down to 1500 grit with mineral oil applied. So it's nice and smooth. It was difficult sanding because of these natural edges, and it's quite thin on the edges, very thin on the edges. A little thicker on the bottom, but it's Very nice. I'm quite happy with the figure in this wood. So like I said, this is apple. There's a crack there which I filled with epoxy and coffee granules, and it's on the outside as well a little bit. What I'm going to do now is apply Hampshire sheen, get this bowl finished, and I'll upload the video and put some photographs at the end. Thanks again for watching. This bowl is now finished. I do need to reverse chuck it just to remove the tenon from the back, put a little detail in the underside of it. I'll put a few photos at the end. I don't really know what to make of this bowl because I've got natural edge with bark, I've got natural edge without bark, and I've got a couple of pieces that are standard edge, I guess you'd call it. So I'm not sure what to make of this bowl, but I quite like the figure in the bowl. I think you'll agree it's quite nice figure. But the best part about this is that it was free wood. It was from the side of the road. I didn't initially know what it was. I called it mystery crotch bowl when I first got it because I wasn't sure what it was. But now I'm certain that it's apple. So thanks for watching and take care. If you like this project, thumbs up, and if you don't, thumbs down, but leave a comment one way or the other. That'd be great. I'll get back to you. Take care.